Hi, I'm Benny D, and in this video we're going to look at the volume of composite shapes. So just like our areas, we can combine different three-dimensional shapes to make a composite shape that we need to look at our volume for. So, for example, we could have something like a rectangular prism, okay, with a cone sticking out the top. A cylinder sticking out of the top. Could be something like that. Right? So how do we work through something like this? Well, we just need to look at our individual components and then put it all together. Okay, so this could be a rectangular prism with dimensions 3, 4, and 5. Okay, our cylinder here might be 4 centimeters long, and let's call our radius of it in here, call that 2 centimeters. Okay, so there are all the dimensions we'll need. So remember, for the volume of a rectangular prism, we need V equals length times width times height from our previous video. And we can see we're adding a cylinder to it. So we're going to go plus the volume of our cylinder, okay, which is pi r squared times by the height of our cylinder here. So these h's are different. We're going to sort that out now. So V equals, so length by width by height. So we've got 3 by 4 by 5 plus, for our cylinder, we've got pi, well that's, I'll put in now, 3.14 times our radius, which is 2, and that's squared, so it's times by itself, and then times by the height, which is 4. So from there, we're just simply looking at doing some maths here. So we've got 3 4s are 12, times 5 is 60. Okay, 2 times 2 times 4 is going to be 16. Okay, times 3.14, it's going to be around about 50. Okay, again, remember that's just an approximation. So you need to grab our calculator to get our exact value. So it'll give you approximately 110 centimeters cubed. So that's just one example of a composite shape for our volume. Okay, but there's lots more that we could look at. Okay, so we could look at something instead. Okay, let's say this time we've got a trapezium here. Okay, a trapezium prism, okay, with a circle, a semicircle cut out of it. So it's going to be half of a circle. Okay, it's dipping in. It's half a circle cut out of it. So we'll have a look at what we do with this one. So we need a few dimensions here. So we need our base. Let's call that 7. Right, our top, let's call that 3. Let's call our height here 4. Our length can also be 4. And the radius of our circle here, let's call that, we'll just make that 1 to make our calculation a little nicer. So this time, our volume is going to be the volume of our trapezium prism minus half of a sphere. So what's our formula for the volume of our trapezium prism? Well, it's our top plus our bottom divided by 2 times by the height of 4 and the length of the prism. So all this, remember, is the area of the end times by the length. Okay. Now we've got to take away half of a sphere. Well, we know our sphere is 4 on 3 pi r cubed, and we're going to need to divide that by 2. Okay, so take away half of 1. So if we look at that, we're going to be top, which is 3, plus the bottom, which is 7, divided by 2, times our height, which is 4, times our length, which is 4, and we're going to take away 4 on 3 times 3.14. Now radius was just 1, and it says it's to the power 3. It means it's 1 times 1 times 1, which is just 1, and anything times 1 is just itself. So we can actually ignore the radius there. We're going to divide it by 2. So if we look at this, we've got 3 plus 7 is 10, divided by 2 is 5. 4 times 4 is 16. And then we're taking away. Now let's have a look at this. We're going to go, I'm going to rewrite this a little bit. Right, this is 3.4 divided by 3.14, sorry, divided by 2 as well. Because then we can see, well, we're going to be a bit higher than what we would normally be. So we're going to be 12.56 okay, divided by 6. Okay, so a little bit more than 3 times 4. Okay, 5 times 16 is 80. Okay, take away 12 on 12.56 on 6. So that's just a bit more than 2, really, isn't it? 2.08. Okay, so our volume is going to be 77.92. Again, let's go this time meters cubed. So let's say each of these dimensions are meters. Okay, so it's this idea of going, well, what do I have? Well, what are my different components? What am I doing with them? The first example, we need to add them together. Second example, we need to take them away. But really going, well, what are my parts I'm looking at? Well, this is my overall trapezium prism. Okay. And here's my circle. I need to only have, here's my sphere, sorry. I only need half of it and I've got to take it away. So you need to identify what you've got and what you're doing with it. And then after that, it's putting in our numbers, which is fine. After we get to this step, use your calculator as much as you like. There's absolutely no dramas with that. Okay, so hopefully that helps you out a little bit on working out the volume of our composite shapes.